Naruto-rise-of-a-ninja is the first Naruto game ever to appear on an Xbox console, and this is the Naruto game that Ubisoft is hoping will kind of break it out of its rut of being sort of a bad franchise. And it actually does. Naruto Rise of a Ninja is certainly the best Naruto game ever released, and it's a really worthwhile fighting game on the 360. Naruto is divided into two different portions. There's an adventure game and there's a fighting game. And this is actually the first Naruto title that's ever combined the two. So you get a full adventure game. It's about 7 or 8 hours long, where you're kind of running around this big, wide open city, helping out people, looking for hidden coins so that you can upgrade your character, and basically trying to train your guy Naruto to become a ninja. And that's his whole thing, is that he wants to one day be the Hokage, which is sort of the head dude, and that's his dream. But Naruto's kind of a screw-up. So as you start the game, you'll see that everybody you run by has a frowny face on above them, and that means that they don't like you at all. And as you do missions for people, as you sort of protect the village, as you progress through and become a better ninja and start to prove yourself, you'll see more and more smiley faces, and those are people who are just going to generally help you along your way. Naruto Rise of a Ninja follows the first 80 episodes of the anime, and in fact it does it so well that there are a lot of times where they'll have an in-game cinematic that then cuts to like a 2 or 3 minute clip from the anime itself, and the story matches so well that it works really fluidly. Now, of course, the anime, which, you know, is several years old now, isn't going to look nearly as good as this beautiful game, but it is nice to see that they've kind of touched the two and had them interweave so well. The adventure portion has you doing a lot of menial tasks, the things that you've kind of done in a lot of adventure games before. You know, things like item collection, you know, doing races, you'll be delivering ramen, which maybe you haven't delivered ramen before, but you've done the kind of quest where you have to go from point to point, giving things to people. All that's still in here. It's, you know, it's nothing particularly new, but the game looks so beautiful, the visuals are so vibrant that it feels a little bit refreshing. Really, the first hour or two of the adventure just aren't that exciting, but once you start to get into it and you unlock Naruto's ability to do dashes and to run up trees and to do what's called a tree hop sequence, where you're basically jumping from branch to branch, the game really opens up and becomes much more exciting and much more accessible and far more interesting. Then mixed into the adventure, you are going to have some moments where you're going to have to fight. You'll be fighting a lot of the same looking bandits all over the place, but you're also going to be fighting other students who are trying to become ninja, and you're going to be fighting some enemies that are going to come in and try to cause trouble in and around town. Now, the fighting is where it's really at, and the game itself, the fighting engine, is actually pretty shallow. It's just, you know, a series of quick combos. You know, each character maybe has a dozen or a little over a dozen combos. But it's so fast and it's so fun and the visuals are so pleasing that, you know, it's okay that it's not the deepest thing out there. It's not Virtua Fighter 5, you know, it's not even Dead or Alive 4, but it is enjoyable. And one of the cool things that you get to do when you're playing as any of these characters, either in the adventure mode as Naruto or when you play online or even offline against a buddy, is that you're going to have special Jutsu powers, which you're actually going to use the thumbsticks to call on hand signals like they do in the anime. And you can call up these cool powers, and every little cutscene that you have that's an attack is actually going to be a mini-game. So it's not the standard thing like in a Final Fantasy game where you summon a power and you just watch it happen. Now you and your enemy are both interacting to see how much damage is going to be done. So for example, there's one attack where it's these two water dragons that come down, and you're using the thumbsticks basically trying to lock onto the other character you're attacking, and all they're doing is moving left and right and basically trying to roll dodge to get out of the way to avoid those attacks. And each character's jutsu has a different kind of mini-game associated to it, so it really is a good variety. The online mode has something really cool to it besides just the normal 1 versus 1 fighting mechanic. There's sort of an open tournament mode called the Forest of Death exam, and this is an open tournament where anybody can hop in at any time and just keep fighting and constantly fighting. So it's not something where, you know, you have to schedule a time, have like a 16-player bracket, and as you lose, you get kicked out. You start at the bottom of the Forest of Death, and you basically have to win 2 matches in a row against random opponents from online. And then once you're inside and you enter into the Tower of Death, you're basically just going to keep fighting matches to get to the top of the tower. And once you get to the top of the tower, it's just you trying to beat people in one-round matches as long as you can to earn as many points as you can. And if you lose, you start at the beginning again. but you can hop in and out whenever you want, and you'll always just face people who are at that level in the tournament. So instead of being something that's forced on a schedule or that's really slow, it's just you hop in and you're just constantly fighting and trying to earn a big score, and it's pretty fun. So Naruto Rise of a Ninja, it really is the first Naruto game that not only captures the essence of the anime, but is a great game to boot. And it is a decent adventure portion to it, and a really fun fighting portion to it. And for an Xbox console that doesn't have a lot of family-friendly games, this is one that anybody could actually play and is suitable for all ages. So if you're a Naruto fan, this is an absolute must for you. But you know, if you're like me and you actually never even watched an episode of Naruto, this might be the thing that actually gets you into the anime. But all around, Naruto Rise of a Ninja, a good game, certainly worth buying.
Shadow Clone Jutsu!